This is Dilsa with Ratnam coming to you with financial news, market news, IPO news and news on market volatility. Please share and subscribe. Yes, friends, the IPO movement in the year 2021 and the IPO movement in the year 2022 is not so quick, it's not so fast in 2022, but a big bang LIC IPO is coming up with lots of ambitions, lots of hopes. LIC IPO. LIC IPO. So, the government of India itself is very much anticipating disinvestment receipts. Disinvestment receipts from LIC IPO by selling 5% stake in the initially and later getting into further slabs. However, the Russian-Ukrainian war seems to have pushed this IPO, if not into doldrums, but into a kind of delay. The reason must be the foreign institutional investors should support this to be a grand IPO. The retailer and policy holders, retailer investors and policy holders are evincing much interest. We also see the same interest, even double interest from the foreign institutional investors. That will decide the boom of the LIC, the IPO. So much is dependent today on one, it is about embedded value, a financial metric that is going to play crucial factor in the valuation of LIC and its IPO, pricing by the government in coming days. So how will the government price the present IPO? What would be the bandwidth? It is expected in one way to see the IPO priced between something, a horrifying figure, you can see it here. Price band between 2000 to 2100 rupees. 2000 to 201 rupees. 5% stake leading to 65,000 crore disinvestment receipts or 50,000 crore if the embedded value is placed at 1.5 crore, 1.9, giving 10 lakh crore, and if it is placed at 2.4, it would give 13 lakh crore valuation, and with that valuation the 5% stake will be 65,000 crore. With 1.9 embedded value and 10 lakh crore valuation, the 5% stake would be 50,000 crore, which will be a very good target achieving amount for the government. Good. But what is delaying the matter? What is delaying the matter? Why the people are still kept waiting? The people are kept waiting for the sweet moment. Sweet moment. What is the sweet moment in our lives? Whether it is going to be a sweet moment or a sore moment, let us feel and happy and get happy that we are going to get a sweet moment. So we are ready to grab the sweet moment. Let us read from these papers what is a sweet moment. Okay, I will show you here. This is from Mint, dated March 21st. The wait for a sweet moment for LIC's IPO and lessons from the past. So what are the lessons that we learned and the wait for a sweet moment? That is the publication of the IPO announcements. So fears of more rate hikes by USF Federation Reserve after the one on Wednesday are also raising uncertainty about domestic market outlook. The timing of LIC's IPO hinges on the sentiment and stability of the markets improving. Perhaps size and time do matter. Most of the 10 biggest IPOs in the past, with the combined mop-up of 1.1 trillion, were rather well timed, showed 6 of 10 were launched when the benchmark indices rose more than 1% in the month before the IPO, and the 4 were subscribed more than 3 times. So well-timed IPOs go like this. Top 10 IPOs by issue amount. Coal India 2001, 15.1 times subscribed. SBI Cards and Payment Services subscribed 19.1. Reliance Power in the year 2008 subscribed 69.6 times. Zomato in the year 2021 subscribed 22.6 times. So again see, Coal India was subscribed 15.1 times in the year 2010. SBI Cards and Payment Services in the year 2020 was subscribed 19.1 times. Reliance Power in the year 2008 subscribed 69.6. Zomato in the year 2021 subscribed 20.6 times. So the question now I pose is, how many times LIC would be subscribed? So it is a question of guess. So all of us can guess. Let us say how many times roughly can we estimate how many times it would be subscribed now. So since I have shown you, you just have your own imagination. So these are the subscription levels. So when we go to LIC, the year is 2022. Okay, it takes place in December. Up to December it is 2022. So now we are in April. It may be brought out in the month of April, May, June, July, August, September, October, December. Total comes to 2. But the times it will be subscribed. Already the highest one subscribed here is Reliance by 69.6 times in the year 2008. And the second highest is Zomato 22.6. So, will it subscribe my expectation? 80 times, 80. Expectation. It can be subscribed up to 80,000 if things are done at appropriate times and taking all precautions. But keeping on pulling the Rath, Jagannath Rath. So the Rath has been taken up to the temple, and now the deity has to get into the temple. So that also our finance minister says here, Rath has been taken up, the Rath. So finance minister says here, on LIC IPO, after pulling the Jagannath Rath to a point where the Lord is ready to enter the temple, it is not easy to hold back the Rath and say, hold on, you can't enter now. So, many people have been involved in pulling that Rath. After creating so much excitement and fervor around the Rath, it is difficult to stop suddenly midway. Okay, but when you are pulling the deity inside. A key step to preparing LIC for the IPO was changing its surplus distribution policy. Generated LIC, 95% belonged to policyholders and 5% was retained, and some of it paid to the government. It also helped that LIC didn't have other shareholders. But how with other shareholders coming into the equation? LIC is proposing 90-10 split. There's a view that policyholders will lose as a result. Have you considered this aspect while preparing the IPO? For which our finance minister gave the answer, and you listen to this. I can tell you that LIC functioning has been thoroughly analyzed before preparing for this IPO. Once the IPO decision was taken, surely the policy holders have been kept in mind. So, one change we have really focused on it is to ensure that LIC's board is democratized, so that the policyholder as a large stakeholder is given a place. But when the process of administration itself changes, the shares in surplus need to be reformatted. We can't say the policyholder is the loser when we reallocate the surplus because he will gain from the higher dividends too as a shareholder. Whenever dividends are given out, shareholders among the policy holders will benefit. That's the general view. But now, market conditions have taken a turn for the worse recently because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. You indicated earlier interactions that you will be going ahead with the LIC IPO, but is there a rethink on what now? Would you consider scaling down the size of the issue or moderating the offer price to ensure better response? But scaling down the size of the issue moderating the offer price, for which finance minister said, when I last commented on this matter, the tension was building up. Now there is a full-scale war. Therefore, I need to go back and review the situation. Ideally, I'd like to go ahead with it because it is something we have planned for some time purely based on Indian considerations. But now, if the global consideration warrant that I need to look at it, I wouldn't mind looking at it again. So even if it is looked at again and again and again and again and again and again, the LIC IPO should be subscribed beyond 80 times. I am telling you 80 times because of the maximum times previous IPOs have been already subscribed several times. So, how happy the nation, the policy holders would be on seeing the LIC subscribed 80 times and beyond. So, the price band would be roughly 2000 and 2100. Maybe this is one proposal. 2000 and 2001 price band, giving 65,000 or 50,000 with an embedded value of 2,000, 2.4 and 1.9 with a valuation of 13 lakh crore and 10,000 crore. So there is embedded value calculation is also maybe something different. 5.9, which we told earlier, will be 15 billion trillion valuation. With 5.39 trillion, with 5.39, with 5.39 EV embedded value, 15 trillion valuation, 15 trillion valuation. The amount is staggering. The embedded value placed at 5.39, roughly 4. And the price band, this is just a staggering amount, imaginably high, and consider 80% subscription, 80 times subscription. How wonderful the nation would be, how happy and cheerful the policy holders would be. So, but how many percent, what percentage is reserved for the policy holders? What are the happy things? When is the sweet moment? So we can perhaps name this IPO, this as when is the sweet moment? Then write it. So when is the sweet moment of IPO LIC? When we see it, when we see the subscriptions, dates. When is the sweet moment? This is the name of this episode. When is the sweet moment of LIC IPO coming up? And take another statement. Daily we get one statement, and here we'll go ahead with LIC IPO despite market volatility. FM. On the rising tension between Russia and Ukraine, the minister said the government is keeping close watch on the developments as also on crude oil prices. So this is one item, and next item is this 20% FDI route was also already cleared in the meeting. Anyhow, I'll read it again. Other minor enhancements in the existing FDI policy have also been carried out in order to provide an updated, consistent and easily comprehensible FDI framework. The government has approved listing of shares of LIC, a statutory corporation established under LIC Act 1956 on the stock markets through an IPO by part sale of government stake in it and raising fresh equity capital for LIC. Insurance is a permitted sector, but the FDI policy currently lists only insurance company and intermediaries or insurance intermediaries under this Insurance Act sector. LIC, being a statutory corporation, is not covered under either. Further, no limit is prescribed for foreign investment in LIC under LIC Act 1956. The Insurance Act 1938, the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act 1999 are regulations made under the respective acts. It has been decided to allow foreign investment up to 20% for LIC and such other bodies corporate. Further, in order to expedite the capital raising process, such FDI has been kept on the automatic route as it is in case of rest of the insurance sector, the source explained. Listing the benefit of the minor enhancements in the existing FDI policy, the source said it would facilitate foreign investment in LIC and other such bodies and help the government in its objective of disinvestment where required. FDI up to 20% allowed in LIC. So the route has been cleared. FDI inflows in India stood at $45.15 billion in the year 2014-15 and have increased since then. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, India attracted the highest ever FDI inflows, $81.91 billion during the financial year 21, 10% higher than that of financial year 20 at $74.39 billion. These increasing trends are an endorsement of India's status as a preferred investment destination among the global investors. So now the route is prepared. Year on year, it is increasing from 70 to 80 also. Now it is expected to rise to higher levels, and the route is cleared, and FDI up to 20% is in LIC allowed totally by the cabinet. So this year we can see much investment from foreign direct institutional investors. So the investor appetite decides the LIC movements. And here again we read, LIC gets CFO. So they are converting LIC slowly into a company hierarchy. The Department of Financial Services in the Finance Ministry, the administrative department overseeing LIC, has now amended the Life Insurance Corporation of India General Rules 1956 to allow persons entitled to attend and vote at general meetings to also do through audio-visual means. Also, LIC as a corporation has been specifically allowed to adopt such procedure as company may adopt for holding such meetings under the framework laid down by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Put simply, this will pave way for LIC to hold virtual AGMs, annual general body meetings, and all other shareholders meetings through audio visual means. So India is transforming into a digital community. So all the policy holders, may they be in a remote village, must participate in the AGMs through audio visual means and cast also their votes through audio digital means. So this, I think, will also make even the remotest Indian or the cornered Indian to participate in the AGMs with digital devices. This is a great breakthrough. Other companies were smaller and they used to deal with only small and normal people. But this LIC IPO is bringing global people into this IPO, and our people from the villages should also participate in the general body meetings. So one side the global people, other side the village people with LIC holdings, policy shareholders should also join the virtual meetings and raise their concerns. So LIC is set to script capital market history. Mark to market, MTM of LIC's equity book. Here lies the greatest point. MTM, mark to market, the surplus distribution, everything counts, and the technical matter is coming up here, which needs good attention. I read it, so please follow carefully. It is also found in earlier newspapers, but today I read it. You please note it. This is going to be a very big IPO, and we can't exhibit our ignorance. We cannot exhibit our ignorance. We should take full. I only read this small portion. MTM of LIC's equity book. So, what really has happened is that the significant portion of EV increase in September 2021 can be attributed to the mark to market MTM of LIC's equity book. MTM is the process of adjusting the price securities to the market value prevailing on a date. The increase in EV is due to shareholders' interest in non-par funds increasing to 100% and a large part of equity book having been transferred to the non-par segment and getting MTM. MTM is mark to market. The story goes like this. Historically, LIC had only one big pooled fund called Life Fund, where surpluses from the fund were allocated at a ratio of 95% for policyholders and 5% for shareholders, Government of India. Now, ahead of the IPO, the government amended the LIC Act so that two separate funds could be created. Par fund for participating policies and non-par fund from the existing single pool of funds, and surpluses from non-par funds was 100% allocated to shareholders. Consequent to changes in the surplus distribution policy, LIC will incrementally pay 10% of PA or participating policies surplus and 100% of the non-par surplus to shareholders. This has resulted in the company reporting value of new business VNB of rupees 4,170 crore in 2021, delivering a VNB margin of 9.9% and improved Indian embedded value of 5.4 lakh crore in first half yearly financial year 2022. So, whatever conclusions retail investors make of the EV conundrum, indications are that this may not affect their appetite for upcoming IPO insurance behemoth. Again I read. So, whatever conclusions retail investors make of the EV conundrum, indications are so that this may not affect their appetite for upcoming IPO of the insurance behemoth. So the government is now doing the balancing work, good fundamentals, crucial call on the EV multiple. So this is a great subject. Not disappointing the retail investors. It is on the shoulders of the government. It should not disappoint the retail investors and their hopes. And while maximizing disinvestment receipts. So the government of India has two objectives to do. One, disinvestment receipts. This is the disinvestment receipts goal of Government of India. Government of India needs disinvestment receipts of say 65,000 crore or 50,000 crore. Money. Disinvestment, after disinvestments, the coffers of Government of India will be full, and disinvestment targets also will be good. But they should maintain retailers not disappointing retailers. So who are retailers? Those who come under the retailers, shareholders, policy holders, because they should not be disappointed. So when they will be disappointed, they will be disappointed if their due share is not given, or if they do not get a share of the policy of the IPO. So all must be taken into faith and done in good faith. So again it goes like this. Again. LIC share sale may be put off to April. Okay. Now April arrived. Now what we will see again? We are watching the VIX, Indian Volatility Index, for certainty in stability, and we have to be in the green before we go ahead. But the 31st March deadline is no longer sacrosanct, he said. Big investors have to cut the checks. They have to be on board. But a good chunk of the IPO is for retail investors, and that needs to be carefully subscribed, and needs to be fully subscribed, which means large number of people will be investing in it. This assumes importance given the Western sanctions on Russia and PJSC Rosneft oil company, stating that Indian companies can acquire stakes in Russian projects and purchase Russian crude oil. So this is having another ruble crude oil and rupee tangent. But it should not be postponed beyond April. The April has folded out. It's April 5th today. Let us hope that at least in the month of April we see the sweet moment, as we have been expecting all these days, and as people have been much anticipating the LIC. Do not know, all of a sudden they may come out and bring out it, but The war is still continuously on roll, and Russia is in no mood to step back. Even Ukraine is also in no mood to rest. And I think we also should not feel the volatility problems before they occur. LIC is a juicy IPO. People are interested in it. Anyhow, the further dilutions also would be there, and from time to time. The further dilutions are not ruled out. Further dilutions will continue. Subsequent dilution, now for the present they will give 5% and take 65,000 crore. After that they will disinvest and dilute 10% in the coming next 2 years and take some more 10%, maybe they take 130 or 140 crores, and after that the next 5 years they will be diluting up to 25% of the total valuation, because once it is formed into a listed company, the owners should not have more weight and their shares must be brought down to the level of 75 and even more as SEBI decides. So with this, friends, this is a juicy IPO and waiting for the sweet moment. I write it again. Let us all dream. Let us all dream for the sweet moment. Maybe April. Before. So, hoping to see the sea moment. This is Dil Se with Ratnam, coming to you with another episode on LIC, and possibly we will come with another episode in the next week to see that all the policy holders and retailers get more acquainted on this and take full advantage of the listing of LIC IPO. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. Subscribe my channel. Dil Se with Ratnam signing off.